It's now time for WTV News. My name is Nicholas Mudimba. Let's now quickly take a look at the headlines of the day. Aspiring economic growth, Nairobi County's 24-hour economy. And Mozambique elections, a tight call. In the face of the looming strike, final exams, the KCPE and the KCSE, concerns abound on whether the candidates are prepared to excel in the exams. We set out to find out how well they are prepared. Agnes Maina with that report.
The initial announcement by the Teachers Union that its members would down their tools if their grievances pertaining increased salaries and more allowances are effected are not met sent shockwaves through the spines of many. The Kenya National Union of Teachers (NAT) had referred a collective bargaining agreement reached by the Ministry of Education. However, good news is the union seems to have changed tact. NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion said Wednesday the union was forced to rethink their negotiation deadline of Tuesday following an appeal from the Treasury.
Mimi majina yangu naitwa Rose Oyombera. Niko na watoto wangu 7 na wengine wako primary school. Na ninaonelea maoni badala ya wangefanya hii strike. Kitu yenye wangefanya wakisikizana na serikali. Serikali walipe, watoto waendelee na masomo. Kwa ajili watoto watafail mtihani. Na sasa ni mwaka ya mwisho. Sasa hakuna haja wa strike, waache kusomesha watoto.
The compromise was reached following a 6-hour-long meeting between the union and the Teachers Service Commission (TSC) that NAT had touted as the be-all and end-all of the negotiations. Parents say that the government should consider the teachers' efforts as striking will mean students declining in their studies as well as affect the ongoing exams.
Kwa sababu ni kila mara tunasikianga walimu wanafanya nini? Ikifika kama huu wakati wakienda kufanya mtihani, nasikia walimu wanagoma tunadai government pesa fulani yenye walituahidi. Basi mimi kama mzazi naona upande mmoja tutaadhirika kama wazazi sababu tungependa jambo kama hili litokee.
Teachers, however, say that their students are well prepared and looking forward to their exams. Reporting for WTV, my name is Agnes Maina.
And now let's take a look at the feedback question of the day. Do you support the teacher strike? The feedback question of the day. Do you support the teacher strike? Notice, send your comments and of course your responses to the SMS number 20058. We will be able to sample some of the views in our subsequent bulletins. Do you support the teachers strike notice? Away from the teacher strikes and all the talks concerning KCPE and of course KCSE, the Kenyan government respects judiciary and is keen on human rights protection. Speaking when he made judges in Nairobi, President Uhuru Kenyatta called on the 3 arms of the government to work together in ensuring smooth governance of Kenya.
Just a few days ago, the Senate vowed to defy a court order that had barred senators from discussing an impeachment vote against Makueni Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana, arguing that it is unconstitutional.
The County Government Act is very clear. The governor continues to perform the functions of a governor in Makueni until Senate concludes its process.
The move spurred a raging supremacy battle between the judiciary and the legislature, which accused judges of interfering with activities of the MPs and senators. President Uhuru Kenyatta met judges early Tuesday in the East African Magistrates and Judges Association with over 300 judges in attendance, including Chief Justice Willy Mutunga.
The judiciary will continue to do its part as mandated by the Constitution, but to remain alive to the fact that for there to be access in the administration of justice, there has to be robust independence of the judiciary and constructive interdependence with the other arms of government.
Uhuru said that all arms of the government are equal and should work together to ensure smooth governance, adding that none is independent of the other.
The 3 arms of government are not meant to be in conflict, nor are they in competition. The principle of checks and balances underpinning our constitutional order does not empower any branch to infringe on the mandate or role of another, or to impose its own particular vision on the decisions and actions of the others.
Kenyatta said the fact that he attended his status conference showed that the government under his leadership respects judicial authority.
My government's commitment to the rule of law in Kenya cannot be questioned. Just recently, I took the step of honoring summons of the International Criminal Court, both as a personal obligation and to demonstrate the principle that obedience to judicial edicts is vital.
Addressing the judges, Kenyatta said judicial independence must remain inviolable, noting that a critical threat to judicial independence is its potential to abuse.
The judiciary must equally act sternly, reject corruption and impunity in all their manifestations.
Uhuru further added that there are few constitutions in the world that match our constitution in the protection of human rights. Reporting for WTV News, I am Wairin Mombogwa.
Now, moving on, the Kenyan government has kicked off a 10 billion shillings initiative to promote a 24-hour economy by rehabilitating streetlights in Nairobi County. The National Treasury has already released 381.2 million shillings to Kenya Power, the national electricity distributor, to commence the exercise in the city.
Making Kenya a competitive nation is the main objective of the Vision 2030 development plan. However, the specifics of doing so provide a major challenge. The development of a planned 24-hour economy can serve as a good starting point. And according to a report by the National Economic and Social Council, harnessing what is arguably the most available resource, time, can make the Kenyan economy more competitive, thereby attracting more investors, both domestic and international.
We are going to start working on the streets of Nairobi anytime soon. In fact, in the next 20 days, allowing the procurement process to go through, we should be able to start off with 116 streets. These 116 are the streets where KPLC infrastructure exists.
The Kenya Power Company has initiated a street lighting program set to commence in a month's time. The street lighting program is a key component in the quest for a 24-hour economy. It is expected provision of sufficient lighting even at night will go a long way in improving the security situation by deterring acts of violence.
The objective of doing this is so that the government can achieve, it is promised to Kenyans that it intends to make this city a 24-hour economy. And we appreciate, perhaps once we have done this particular city, we should be able to expand it to other cities. Why not? And before we know, most of our cities will operate 24/7.
Nairobi City County has approximately 24,000 streetlights and 7,300 public lighting masts, which cover about 30% of the city. About 40% of these lights are not in operation, hence the need for capital investment for refurbishment at an estimated cost of 953 million shillings.
We shall be looking at a sample of this approach, starting with Kibera, and lighting. If we lit Kibera very well, chase darkness out of Kibera, we equally do the road to industrial area, which is Mbagathi Way, light it up properly, and light industrial area very well, particularly those major roads, or rather streets and roads that house major industries. We shall have made the circle complete. In other words, labor will feel safe at their residences, in this case Kibera. They'll feel safe along the way to work and from work, and they'll feel very safe working within industrial area.
The government has promised to make Nairobi a 24-hour economy county, then gradually expand to other counties. The project will aid in increasing employment opportunities through the second and third shifts. Further, there are more benefits and/or justifications to a 24-hour economy, including the economies of scale, meaning the more one produces, the lower the cost of production per unit. The extra money made through extra shift work will obviously enter the consumer and savings economies, leading to increased demand for goods and services and increased investment in the country.
And finally, let's take a look at this country, Mozambique. With peace and stability, Mozambique's economy has dramatically improved over the last 25 years, growing at 7% annually, according to the World Bank report of 2013. And as the country goes to the national election, many are optimistic that the economy will grow even more as the living standards will improve for the majority. Rading Biko with the lessons Kenya could take from this country, Mozambique.
Growing at around 7% each year, Mozambique economy is one of Africa's strongest performers. Foreign companies have chosen to invest here, particularly in the mining industry.
We have population, 23 million people, that we can build up on that. We have mineral resources. We have a country that we can develop agriculture to generate food and reduce imports. So now the future is in our hands regarding a strategy. Where do we want to get in the future?
Mozambique has a wealth of natural resources, which include deposits of iron ore, gold, bauxite, graphite, marble, and limestone.
As you can know, we started to mine one of the biggest reserve of coal in the world, in the 30 province, which is one of the 2 landlocked provinces in Mozambique. To take the coal from that to the market, you have to have infrastructure.
As the people of Mozambique take to the poll today, the key issue on the voters' mind will be focusing on the abundant natural resources and how they will benefit from them.
Maybe one day will be nice, but now the situation is very complicated about corruption. But I will believe one day the situation will change. We need that. All people, we need that.
The winner of the Wednesday poll will be well placed to reap the early reward of a multi-billion-dollar gas and oil development in the northern Indian nation.
We're coming from a situation in Mozambique that we came from extreme poverty. We get to a point that there came hope and attractiveness of foreign direct investment in Mozambique. Now we're in a position that we understand what do we have.
Candidates are faced with firm demand from the voters that the country's plentiful resources, which beside the offshore gas and oil, include huge coal deposits as well as farming and fishery potential, be used to generate more jobs and higher living standards.
This election time was a very good test for us, because in election times you see people having their own aspirations and they start talking and say what do they expect from the country. And for us in Mozambique, it's very important that you mention that the management of the expectation of the population, because people hear about oil and gas and they look to Qatar, they look to Russia, they look to other countries that are developing based on oil and gas, and they say, well, why are we not that in that point?
Joachim Tobias Dai, the president of the Mozambican Association of Economists, believes that the country economy will hit the 8% mark this year, and he advocates for a better strategic framework which will boost the economy. Rading Biko reporting for WTV, Nairobi.
He deserves to be in jail like anyone else, like any criminals or any murderers.
And that's it for WTV News this evening. My name is Nicholas Mudimba. Be sure to catch Raymond Bugwa tomorrow in the morning for more details of the news. Have yourself a blessed night.